we had an idea for a community that God had dropped on us, and here it is. Wholesalers are us. And the community was specifically of like-minded people. Like-minded people, people that wanted to do business together, people that wanted to learn this business together, people that wanted to do deals together. And since then, we've been able to help a lot of people get started in their real estate business. We've helped a lot of people close on their first deals. We've actually helped a lot of people actually springboard their careers in this real estate business and actually start to make six figures in the business. So this has been something that God has put on us. He's put the vision on us, and we thank God that it is extended to you guys. But tonight, we are excited because, again, God just keeps dropping it on us. We've got another special guest tonight. And partner, how you doing? Yeah, well, you know the drill.
Forget that. I'm mute.
There you go. There you go.
I'm truly blessed, man. I'm truly blessed. Grateful to be here tonight, of course. Want to always give my Lord Savior Jesus Christ the credit for everything, just for bringing us here tonight, bringing us here, bringing us on this journey that we've been on. And I'm just grateful for it. I appreciate every minute of it, every day that He has allowed us to, be able to be a blessing to other people. Really, that's what it's all about. So I'm just grateful that I'm in that position. I see you got your reading glasses on today.
Well, it's funny. I had to, I've been studying all day, and I've been on Zoom all day, and I use the glasses for what I'm studying for, and when you take them off, it's like I can't see, so I'll wear them tonight.
It's all good, man. It's all good. So, we're just grateful. Just thinking back and reflecting on what you was talking about earlier, about when we got started back in 2015. I know we've talked about it before. Like back then, I'm just so glad that we allowed God to use us. Because back then, we always talk about it all the time. The business was like a secret society. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was kind of like, everybody was to themselves. And even we was at that point when we first started. Like I know you had Charles and a couple of other people that you kind of came up with, but when I got started, I was just by myself, and I really didn't know too many people in the business at the time. I think you was really I knew people, I was doing business with people, but I really didn't know nobody to where I called them my partner or somebody who I really trusted like that. And I think you was really one of the first people that came around that I felt like I could trust, and I felt like we could grow a brotherhood together. And I think, we both, our mindsets was in the same direction. And just us coming up with the idea that God gave us to just say, let's start a community. I think that was just, the beginning of building relationships, building partnerships, and building communities, which to this day now we're seeing, it's a lot of meetups, it's a lot of communities, a lot of, different real estate functions that go on from the day in and day out, and I'm not sitting here saying we started it or nothing like that, but I will say that we did, kind of catapult a lot of different communities and a lot of different meetups and stuff. Because at the time, I don't even really think it was that many meetups. I think Frank's meetup was really the only one that I knew of back then, unless it was something that I just didn't know about. And then I think right after that, a couple of other ones came behind, and then it just became a blessing. And then I'm appreciative that we was a part of one of the first to start it off. In Atlanta. Maybe some other states they probably was going on, but back in 2015 it wasn't really too many meetups going on. So I'm just grateful that here it is, 2025 years later, we're still giving free content. We still our guts. We still have not sold anything since 2015. We've been a blessing to other people's careers. Closing multiple deals. And just to be able to say that, a lot of people can't say that. A lot of people can't say, that they've been a part of other people's journeys and catapulted other people's businesses without a cost involved. So it means a lot to me to be a part of this, and just to, like I say, know that we still have this going to this day, and people still chime in every Monday. Every time we have these calls, and we've been doing a call for about 3 years.
Right.
And every time I get on these calls and I see the participants, you know what I'm saying, the faithful participants, you know, all you guys that be on here every Monday, I'm just so appreciative that you guys even think to just listen to what me and Tim got to say every Monday at 8 o'clock. It means so much to me, you know what I'm saying, that you guys take out of your time to just listen to what we got to say. And even people on Facebook Live, you know what I'm saying, just jumping on, listening to us. It means a lot to us. So I just wanted to put that out there and just say I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all the relationships we've grown over the years. Even the brother that we got coming on tonight, you know, we call him, you know, another one of our brothers. You know, we've been having a lot of our brothers on for the last couple of weeks. And we know so many people. I mean, the list goes on and on, how many affiliations we have that, you know, people that we have built relationships with, we made money with. And I think during this COVID-19 epidemic that we have going on, I just be curious, you know, that, I mean, we talk to these guys on a day in, weekend basis and stuff like that, but I'd be just curious just to know, like, you know, what they got going on, what their mindsets are right now, how they're approaching their marketing, how they're approaching their businesses. Are they putting the foot on the brakes? Are they putting their foot on the gas and keeping it going? I just like to get, you know, other people to chime in. You know, we give so much content, me and Tim, from spiritual content to real estate content, but I like to get I like to get other people to get their point of view, you know, people that we value and trust. So anything else before we bring on our
I was just gonna say, man, it feels like, you know, it really feels like that we were blessed to start for a time like now. And I didn't, you know, you know, I didn't fully see everything. I saw a community, but I did not realize that, you know, that it was going to be for a time such as now, you know, where we could all really band together, really gather information. Because when you talk about it, you know, when times are flowing, you know, like they were, you know, just recently, you know, it's like the information part is not as critical as it is now. But just being able to sit and being able to hear each other, see each other doing business. I mean, you know, Wholesalers Are Us started for now, and I'm just grateful for the community that you know that we have.
Man, community means everything, man.
Yeah, it means everything because listen, think about it. How many if this same thing would have happened without the internet, without telephones, without real communication, you know, how many people would be scared? Like literally scared of doing business. And you understand what I'm saying? So I'm just I'm grateful for you guys. And as you guys listen to our broadcast or watch our broadcast, share them. You know, share them with other people because people want to know that we're still doing business. And as they get that confidence, then that's, you know, then that's going to help people, you know, actually do business. So yeah, I'm grateful, man.
So we becoming the Atlanta local real estate news, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
in the wholesaling world, like what's going on, like what, you know, what's going on, because I know it's a stigma out there that people saying like, man, I actually been hearing people say that this is not the time to do business like real estate. I think I heard somebody say real estate is dead right now. Like it's nothing going on. The numbers are going down. We're going into a recession. Like, dude, do you know that millionaires are made in recession times? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just have to learn how to adapt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing I can say before, you know, bring on our guests. That's the beauty about this business, that no matter if the market is up or no matter if the market is down, you can still make money. You know, right. So it's just about, it's really in your mindset. It's really on how you interpret it, how you approach it. The people who have a lack mentality, they're going to lose at this time and they're not going to make any money. But the people who have that mental strong mindset, they're going to persevere through what we're going through, and they're going to continuously make money and they're going to continuously be blessed. So it's very, very important how you approach your mindset going through this troubled time that we have right now. It's really a time where you really can really seize the moment. And like we talked about on the previous calls, focus on your business, focus on leaning out the business, removing what need to be removed, adding what need to be adding, looking at, all your different marketing channels, what you need to be doing, making more calls, making more offers. We heard a lot of the guys from the last call talk about it, but we can go on and on. It's so much, that we can talk about. But the main thing is, and it just confirms. I know I talked about it earlier about confirming when we started the meetup back in 2015.
Right.
But who knew that this Monday call will be so impactful? You know what I'm saying? At a time like this, I honestly think that this Monday call, like, dude, I was all day like, man, I can't wait to the call tonight. I can't wait to the call tonight. And I mean, I know people listening, they want to hear what we got to say, but I honestly wanted to hear the message tonight. I really wanted to it's like me getting the word at church, so I really wanted to hear it. And I wanted to, listen to our guests tonight. I wanted to listen to you tonight. Like, I really wanted to absorb the energy. I wanted to absorb all the information that we're going to get. And we hope that, it'd be a blessing to everybody else. So you want to go ahead and introduce our guest tonight?
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. And LaShawn, if you could get him queued up, please. Listen, this gentleman right here, and we've had an opportunity to have several interactions with this gentleman. We've had an opportunity to really observe this gentleman over the years and just watch how he flows. Watch how he just does business. Watch how eloquent he is in delivering a message. And listen, man, I can tell you guys this. Tonight, you are going to get A1 information. It's like what they talk about with the word. They said there's light word, but then there's meat. And this is meat right here. You're going to get the A1 meat tonight. So guys, without further ado, Kendall Ficklin, if you are on the line of Master Key Investments, man, if you're on the line, if you can plug in, and I think we just need to get there we go. There we go.
What's happening, brothers? What's going on?
Hey, what's happening, brothers? Just like Star Trek, ain't it?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man? How y'all doing?
Oh, man, we're so grateful, man. Listen, man, when me and Will, when we thought about it, man, we thought about you. I think we thought about you at the same time, because as we prayed about it, and we kind of trying to see, who we're gonna have for our partners, to get on tonight. We both took the words out of each other's mouth. so I just believe that the time is now, for you. And for you to be able to share, for you to share your knowledge, for you to share your wisdom, the years that you've done this business, what kind of stoppages you've had, and then what kind of starts you've had, man. And then what you're doing now, man. We're grateful to have you on, man, and thank you for being one of our brothers.
Man, thank you, man. I'm grateful to be on, man. Y'all the big homies to me, man. So, I'm just blessed to be here, and I'm excited that Will called me today. Like, hey, you want to get on the call? Man, you ain't even got to ask me. Like, it's a go. Like, whatever y'all need. Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, man. What's been happening over the past couple of weeks. I don't even really have to, describe it. But if you can, we were all doing, wholesaling, buying, flipping, all that stuff at a high level, a couple of weeks ago, without really any thought, to be honest with you.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
if you can, just kind of describe, how things changed, when you heard about this thing going on. I know when I heard it, I didn't quite understand everything, but when the seriousness of things kind of settled into you, and what kind of adjustments that you've made with your business since then.
Yeah, man. So, when everything happened, first things first, I'm not really in tune with everything that kind of goes on so much because we locked in, so like when I first heard about it, I was like, okay, here we go. Another social media thing that's going on. It's about to be a wave for a minute. It's going to go away. Right. So then I just started, like, I was talking to my dad, and he had mentioned it, and I was like, well, if my dad is concerned, I might need to take a look at it.
By the way.
Yeah. You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying, like, if my dad is concerned about it, maybe I might need to look into it because he don't be tripping about stuff, you know. So I'm like, well, let me see if he taking it serious. So I started looking at it, and you know, at first when it happened, our industry in particularly was kind of getting like everybody was getting nervous, getting scared. You know, a lot of people were like, the market's gonna crash, it's gonna be a recession, like everything is basically gonna go downhill, right? And this was the general consensus online, on YouTube, on Facebook, on everything, to the point where I had to like stop looking at it. I was like, I can't even look at another thing about COVID because it's just like, I was telling my wife, like, all this talk about it, we're like feeding the energy. You know what I'm saying? Like we're feeding it, and we're basically telling it that it can stop what we do. And I've never been that kind of guy. Like nothing is going to tell me that I can't go out here and do what I need to do to take care of my family and handle my business, right? So when I was sitting here thinking about it, and I was talking to my wife, I told her, I said, listen, this right here, there's no difference between what's going on now than what has happened in the past. When you look at other things that have occurred, there's always been a pandemic, there's always been a problem, there's always been an obstacle that needs to be overcome, right? So for me, I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years. That's all I do is overcome obstacles. Like, this is what I do. And I was telling her, I said, this is really going to show a lot of people what they're really made of, you know? And I don't mean made of like, this is the time where if you don't blow up and be successful, then you're trash. No, I don't mean like that. What I mean is that for those individuals who are willing to stay down, I mean, really, really stay down and keep the main thing the main thing. So many people are hopping to new things now. And I was just telling my brother today, we ride into an appointment to go see a house. I was telling my brother today, I said, man, I'm keeping the main thing the main thing.
That's
like, I'm just going to grow it. I'm just going to build it, and we just going to keep building brick upon brick upon brick, no matter what people say. Because people always have an opinion, and nobody really knows. I mean, when you think about it, right? So when it first happened, I had like a little shock, kind of sort of like, because buyers started coming in way lower than contract prices. So I'm like, oh, dang. Like, okay, now we getting into the real. So now I'm starting to feel it. So I'm like, I'm in renegotiation mode like crazy. I'm talking about we got three, four pending contracts. I'm going back. Hey, listen, you know, everything that's going on with COVID right now, you know, we need to get that number down. Lenders are shortening it up. It's becoming a drought in the industry as far as financing is concerned with the lenders and things. So we use a lot of these things to get prices down. But I'm not gonna lie, it took me about 10 to 14 days to really adjust. You know what I'm saying? And when I say adjust, like, adjust my mindset of how to buy on the front end now. Adjust my mindset to how people buying on the back end now. Right? And one thing that I had to make sure of was to not stop marketing. Because I listened to a lot of guys like you, Tim Will, a lot of my guys out here, Tycoon, Ramon, just a lot of people who I look up to who do the business. And then I got a couple of mentors in different states too, and just, you know, older guys who I look to for advice. And the number one thing that everybody was telling me was like, listen, whatever you do, just don't stop. Get lean and don't stop, right? Because if you're able to do those things and you're able to continue to generate revenue while everybody else is stopping, you still got the momentum going. Because as soon as you stop, momentum is dead. And then you got to rebuild. And we all know, I mean, I can't tell you how many things I start, stop. It's hard to get that momentum back once you got it, you know?
So so, you know, from what I hear you saying is very important. And I think it's uber important to keep the main thing the main thing. And as you're keeping the main thing the main thing, then you know, not only do you get lean with that main thing, but you know, like brother, I see a lot of people going to different industries now. And you know, over the year, I mean, to me, and this is just what I see, over the year, you may have been getting a lot of education in this business, but for you to go to another industry now is tantamount to suicide.
Start from scratch.
Right? Self-destruction. So
exactly.
So yeah, I mean, what you're saying is right. And the other thing that I see, and just help us along. When you keep that main thing the main thing, then you really start to focus, and you really start to get the right mindset, because everybody that you're around, you attract those kind of people that are thinking the same thing that you're thinking. And as you guys do that, then you're exchanging information, And as you're exchanging information, you're unlocking the secrets, right? And the keys.
And like what you talking about with the mindset,
Yes.
like people ask me all the time, like, yo, like, Kay, like, how have you been able to be an entrepreneur for 18 years? Like, I never had a job, like, ever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even have a resume, no prior, nothing. Right. So, like, how have you been able to do this for 18 years? And I'm like, the biggest thing when I sit down, I really think about it. Like, man, like the mind, you just can't break it for me. Like, I'm going to continuously tell myself, we're going to win. I'm going to continuously tell myself, we're going to get that contract. We're going to get that deal. I woke up this morning, I said, man, I'm going to lock up 3 today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, I didn't get 3. I got 2 that are about to get signed. They didn't get signed, but the fact of the matter is that they'll get signed. I put it out there. I put it out there. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, if I say I want to make 50, we going for 50. And if we don't, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that we went for it. You see what I'm saying? And the mentality is so important because when all this negative talk about the COVID and how it's stopping everything, we can't do nothing, we can't get no money, we can't do it. Everybody is so negative with it. It takes down your drive when it comes, like, it takes down the driving force within yourself to be able to move forward. You know, because you continuously, you're just taken away from all the positive vibes that you have.
Right.
Like, you see what I'm saying about what it is that you're doing. And if you do that, you won't be able to continue to push forward. So for me, it's just, yes, I can. I know I can, and we're gonna do it. And if we come up short, we're gonna live with that.
What do you do? Like, how did you get that mindset? Now, I know you've never had a job. I do understand that. But how do you get that mindset? And how did you learn to maintain that mindset? You know, I know you got a family, you got a wife, kids, you know, so.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's a movie. But, man, you know, a lot of reading.
Okay.
I read a lot. Like, I don't even read as much now as I used to. When I used to sit in Borders all day.
Dude.
All day. Yeah. I wouldn't even buy the books. I would just get them and then sit them in a secret little space, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna read them again. Right? Just fine tune the reading. Yeah. But the biggest reason how I can say I'm able to do it though, really honestly, is that I really have no choice.
Wow.
I have to. Like, people don't understand. Like, when I was talking to some kids the other day, I'm like, listen, if I don't go out here and I don't make something happen, then nothing happens. And if nothing happens first off, from the age of 19 up until now, I'm now 29, about to be 30. If nothing happens, then I got family who I take care of, who now this affects because I have to take care of it. I have a girl, I got a daughter. You see what I'm saying? So if nothing happens, I got to do that. But prior to 19, it was just me. But at the end of the day, even with it just being me, I'm never the type of person that's like, you know what? I'm cool with just sitting here and just being okay. You know, I don't want to just be okay. I want to be big. I want to go for it. You see what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of just living average? Like, there's no point in that to me. Like, you know, we can, but what's the point? And some people are cool with that. And the immature me years ago would have had a problem with that. But the mature me nowadays says, yo, everything ain't for everybody. Everybody has their own way that they like to do things. Everybody has their own goals, their own targets that they're trying to get to. And for me, and how I think and how I do things, it's just different. And it's okay. You see what I'm saying? But the mentality just came from consistently telling myself, you got to make it happen. You can't fold. You got to go. And looking at people like big homies, just mentors, just people, older guys. I was always around older guys, like always. Like my time in the barbershop, man, I used to be in the barbershop cleaning up shops when I was like 12 years old to the time I started cutting hair at 15. And you can imagine what y'all know in the barbershop, the talks around, you see what I'm like, the things
that's my first job. That was my first job.
First job, yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? So we were in there and like.
That was my first job. I used to sweep up. Then I became a barber. Just being around them, I learned how to do it.
Exactly. You too, right? I didn't even know that. Like, that's crazy. Like, we in there draping the clients up, brushing them all. Let me take your coats, learning customer service and all those things to get the tips. But it's crazy because when I first started going, when I was younger, if we came in the barbershop and let's say we walk in and we gotta say hey or shake each man's hand when you walk in, right? If I missed a guy, they will make me go back and start over. Like, and then walk right back through the door and make sure I shake every man's hand firm, look them in the eyes, communicate. Like, this taught me how to talk to people and anybody. When I was younger, I moved. I can't tell you how many schools I went to. I went to 5 high schools. Let's just start there. Right? So 5 different high schools. Every time I go, I got to learn how to adapt and talk to these different type of people. And then not only that, I get to become a new person and reset and fix what I didn't do right last time. So it's like I just keep learning and learning about the different things that I'm doing and experiencing. And I always think back to, man, however bad it is, I done been through worse and got through it. And I'm sitting right here. And I tell people, man, like the faith, like people look at me and don't think that I have the faith that I really do. Wow. Because in order to be who I've been and what I've done and get through it, you got to have it. It's no way. It's no way. And I always like, even we used to go to church back in the day, you know, they look at me like, oh, he's the outcast, because I used to question, because I used to ask questions. So if they say this, then, I mean, what is this? Right? But nobody ever understood that. I think y'all got fake faith, because every time that something goes wrong, y'all tripping like it's the end of the world. And me, I'm ready to ride out.
It's real stuff.
You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how my mindset was.
That's real. You know, that whole thing, that whole thing about faith is, you know, you don't have faith until you do.
Man, what?
Like you can talk about it all day. You know, you can talk about, I want to do this, I want to do that, you know, but you got to walk through that thing. You got to walk through that thing to get a victory. And, you know, you know, we were watching the story last night with Mike, and how Mike finally climbed the mountain. You know, but look at all that he had to go through. And people can say, you know, Mike's a millionaire. You know, he was this, that, and that. But Mike really put it on himself, and he went through a lot of hardships to get where he's going, and that took a tremendous amount of faith. So,
you know, Mike, I look at Mike last night, like Mike wanted to feel it. Like he wanted it. Like he's like, hit me. Like, you know, he wanted to feel it. He wanted to go through that process to become the GOAT. And that's the difference. Like, that's the difference between the greats and the people who just kind of like chilling. Like,
that's so deep.
He wanted it.
That's so deep what you said. Like somebody, that's and me and my wife were talking about that we were watching last night. That's a natural leader. Like when you broke that down just now, like somebody who want to absorb the pain just to go through the journey. Like some people want to go through the journey and they just want it to be a clean slate. Right. But somebody to say, I want to go through the journey and I want to get hit in the side. I want to get hit in the jaw. I want to get pushed down. I want to get stepped on. But I know that at the end, I'm going to be at the top. And he knew he had to go through that, and to see how he went through that Detroit Pistons era and just all he had to go through, the scrutiny, the criticism, like everything, man. Like it's deep, man. It's deep. Yeah. Camilla said it's not ability, it's mentality. Eagles versus pigeons. So she wanted
Eagles fly. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, man. Like I got this thing where I say, like, you know, and I got it from Jeezy, crazy, but it spoke so much to how I looked at things in my life. Like, stay down until you come up. Like that's like a mantra. Like I live by that mantra, and I have for years. Another thing is like, you have to understand that in order for it to mean something, it gotta mean something. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mean like nobody cares if you took an easy road. Like, think about it. Everybody who we big up and we salute are the people who have the story or went through that process and that pain, not ran from it. I'm talking about went through it, right? And they succumbed it and basically sprouted through it and grew. But the people who didn't really go through anything, who got the inheritance, y'all got the same amount of money, but we don't salute them the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta, I mean.
And that's why, like, and with that being said, that's why, like, if you haven't closed your first deal yet, or you struggling in the business right now, you're just going through your pain right now. You're just going through your pain, and that's something that you got to go through. We all have went through it. Everybody's pain is different. Everybody's journey is different, but you got to keep going. You got to keep going. That's the thing. Just like Michael Jordan, he lost two years straight to the Detroit Pistons. But guess what? Every year, he'll lose, he'll shake their hand and say, you know what, I'll be back next year.
Right back.
Next year, the second year he came back, they took him to, I think it was game 7. He lost because I think Pippen had a headache or something like that. He shook their hand, said, "I'll be back next year." Next year, third year, swept them. You know what I'm saying? Then beat Magic Johnson in the championship to win his first championship. So he already knew the journey, you know, going to where he was headed to. And it ain't no different from what we going through in real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have had our bumps and bruises, and we got kicked down, and deals didn't close in the beginning. It took me, 8-9 months to close my first deal. It was a struggle, you know, but I knew I had to go through that pain. I knew I had to go through those sleepless nights, doing that marketing, doing that stuff that most people don't want to do. They just ain't got it in them to do, but you got to be willing to do it. You got to be willing to fight and hustle and grind. That's what I like about you, Kendall. Like, when I think about you, I think about hustle. I think about grit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it takes to be successful. A person like you will never go broke. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't matter where a person puts you at in the world. Somebody can put you in Asia. Somebody can put you in Eastern Europe. Anyway, it don't matter wherever. You're going to find a way to hustle. You're going to find a way to get some money.
Anywhere.
It don't matter where they put you at, you know, and everybody don't have that in them. You know what I'm saying? So you got to develop those type of instincts. You got to develop that type of mindset.
And you know what, though, to kind of go to what you're saying, is some people wonder, how can, if I wasn't born that, how can I be that? Like, to go with what you're saying, Tim, to be able to have, to be able to have those instincts and to gain those instincts, you got to do what Jordan and them do it. You got to run to the pain. You got to run to the struggle. Like, you literally have to put yourself in a position to feel it so that you can actually experience it and go and experience coming through it.
So you saying these newbies that, you know, that are struggling.
I made a decision. I think you got to make that decision. You got to, before you take that journey, you got to make a decision. Say, I'm ready for this journey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if you just go into it head first, then yeah, you're gonna sink. You know what I'm saying? But you got to, before you go into this journey, you got to say, you know what? I'm looking ahead, and I see. I really can't see right now. I can't see through, and I know there's gonna be a journey. I know it's gonna be hard. And I got to be like, you know what? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to accept it. Whatever gonna happen. I'm ready to go through it. I don't care what happened. But one thing I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna quit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing out of all of this we talking about. Like, you can't quit no matter what it takes you through. You can't quit, because when you quit, it's really over. It ain't never over. I don't care if it takes you 5 years to come to the first deal. It ain't over until you quit. It ain't over until you quit.
Exactly. And you know, it's crazy because a lot of newbies in the business, a lot of them, you got to think, like, I was just talking to one of my clients, and I don't even take on that many clients no more, but I was talking to a young lady. She was ready to quit. And I went in on her. I really went in, to the point, like, after the call, I was like, damn, that might have been a little too hard, you know, because she was willing to stop because of what somebody else said. And she's only been going for 30 days.
Only 30 days.
30 days. And then not only that, admitted that she was not executing on everything I told her to execute on. So I'm asking, I'm like, you mean to tell me that after 30 days, you're going to sit here and tell me that, first off, you're going to think it doesn't work, or you're going to think that's just something that you can't do? Most people don't win because they quit in the first quarter. Right. 3 minutes into the game. It's a whole game. It's 4 quarters, overtime, second overtime. If you got to go there to get it and to get the W, you have to do what you have to do. Like, so a lot of these people are just chasing the sexy nature of it, and that's why they fall out. It's the new thing. It's just fly right now. Everybody want to do, you got the ad spaces, you got the, you know, the TV commercials, HGTV. Everybody want to get in the game because they feel like that's where you can go to hurry up and get rich quick. And then they realize that it's not that. So they came in with ill intentions in the first place. Wow. You see what I'm saying? You didn't come in for love of the game or love of just trying to be in business and do something better, period. You came in because you was trying to get a quick hit. Wow. And when that happens, you're going to quit fast because you're not really in it for a certain goal and a certain reason.
So we have to,
Camilla, she just reminded me just through what she just said. Now, real quick, I just wanted to say, while we was on the subject of going through the journey and going through the struggle, Jesus went through that before he got on the cross, you know what I'm saying? And he had a beating and a suffering to get to victory, you know what I'm saying? So he endured the pain for us, and we got to endure the pain to get to our destination, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to put that on.
He ran to that. He didn't have to do that. He ran to that.
He ran to it, exactly.
That's
he knew what time it was. He was willing to take the pain. He was willing to take all of the drench his blood just because he knew it was a bigger purpose. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way we got to think. And I'm not trying to compare us to Jesus, but I'm saying we got to think that way. We got to think that there's sacrifice that had to be done. He sacrificed. So we got to know that there's sacrifice into this business, like there's sacrifice into success. Success without sacrifice it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So there got to be sacrifice, man. It got to be blood, sweat, and tears. It got to be shed. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that was a good point she made. I just wanted to put that out there. Go ahead, Tom. You were saying something.
No, I was just saying. So what you're saying, Fick, is you're saying that we have to put ourselves in the mindset, and we have to create the mindset that we're going to embrace this thing. Because if we don't create that mindset that we're going to embrace this thing, then guess what? We're going to fall out. We're going to be looking at gold or whatever it is that's next.
I mean, even if you got a makeup in your head, right, man, it's 20 people who just hate me. They don't want to see me win. I don't care what you got to do. Even if that's something that drives you to go forward, do what you got to do. I mean, I watched something on Kobe where he said he would make up beefs in his head with people just so he can go hard on the court.
Right.
Like, you know, I mean, I don't know, whatever it is you have to do, but the biggest thing, in my opinion, that you must do, you have to have you have to be strong-minded. You have to understand that it's a journey. It's not something that you're going to get, like, in the next 30 days, 90 days, even when you close your first deal. I mean, come on, man. What you're going to pay your bills, and then you got to re-up again. You got to get more. You don't get rich off the first deal. It just doesn't happen like that.
That goes into my next topic, man. I know we've been talking real big on mindset, and we also big mindset. You know, we real big on that, all three of us. But let's talk a little real estate real quick. During this COVID right now, you mind sharing like what some of the things that you're doing currently in your business right now to kind of sustain and continuously do deals? Because I know you're still doing deals. I know you're still having closings and being successful. So you mind sharing what, you know, some of the things that you're currently doing right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, what we're doing is we're still marketing. We haven't slowed our marketing down at all. So the first thing I did, let me just say this. The first thing I did was I had to sit down. I had to realize what adjustment needed to be made. First things first. So by doing that, first thing I did was I talked to all my people who are currently still buying deals. I've never been a huge, like, 10,000 people on the list guy. I'm the type of guy, I like to make 2-3 phone calls, send out a little text, boom, be in the game. I just started sending out emails like this year, like consistently, you know? So I don't even really like to do that. So the first thing I do is I had to talk to all my people who I have relationships with and just see like where y'all at, you know, what's going on, how you guys buying. And then what I started to do was I started to look at all the deals that we had in the pipeline and the deals that we actually had, like, so when I say pipeline, I mean under contract, and then the ones that are like kind of bubbling a little bit. Like they could be contracts in the next month or two, right? And I started looking at the numbers, and I kind of adjusted the way that we made offers, because what was happening is people weren't willing to max out their offers anymore or pay those high percentages of the ARV because nobody knows what's going to happen in the next few months.
Right.
So first thing I did was I said, okay, our adjustments needs to be our formulas. I changed all the formulas for how we buy. So we can give it to acquisitions manager, and I trained them on, hey, listen, this is the new formula. The next thing that we did was we went ahead and we expanded basically our buy box. So what I did was I looked at each buyer and I put them each in a certain column: fix and flips, rentals, land, right? And then each of them buy at certain percentages of the ARV and in certain areas. So each area that they buy at certain percentages of the ARV, what I started telling my guys was, hey, in these areas, we could pay a little bit more on contract because they haven't stopped. Right. So in these areas, let's try to lock those deals up and get those sold, even though we're not, because you got to think the guys who are willing to pay 80% of the ARV are really the funds, right? These are really the hedge funds that's willing to go up that high. So if they're willing to go up that high, in order for us to sell to them and basically back our way in, we have to get all their criteria, right? So I get all their criteria. And then what we did was we went through all of our leads and we went back to all dead leads. You guys, I'm still doing deals off data from the first quarter of 2019. Like, so we still pulling old leads from there. So what we're doing is that we're getting the buy boxes and everything straight, and then we're basically targeting areas for the buyers only. I used to flood, like I'm in 12 counties, but I used to flood each county, like the whole county. I didn't care like what zip of the county, what area, 1 beds, 2 beds, I didn't matter. So we changed it up and we switched it up, and we're only going specifically for what the buyers are looking for right now. Right? So that's the first thing we did. The second thing we did. The first thing was we made the adjustments on the ARVs. And then after that, we really just kind of keep everything business as usual. We want to send out the same amount of text messages. We want to do the same amount of cold calls. We want to hit the same amount of RVMs, right? And what we're doing is that since most people are falling out, we're picking up those, right? And the other thing is we went back to all of our old data. Like I said, I haven't bought new data since February of this year. So we've been working all of that. We're still pulling 2 to 3 a week out of that data. So it's still working good for us.
That's what's up, man.
So you're basically, and I just want to make sure that we're clear and that people understand, what you're basically doing is you have requalified everybody. Requalify your buyers, requalify your sellers. The business remains pretty simple. It's just requalifying based on what the specific situation is for now. You know,
and also utilizing what's going on to our benefit. Because here's the other thing too, like everybody was so negative. I'm like, man, this can actually be a good thing. Like y'all kind of true. You know, like, so we started using it to our benefit. Like I said, when we get deals, a lot of sellers sometimes they don't want to come to the realization that the numbers are not the numbers as the numbers were 3 months ago, 2 months ago, right? So now what we do is we tell them up front, we're like, hey, this is a strategy we use, free game. I tell them up front, let's just say they want 90,000 for it. I'm really need to be at 70, 75, right? So I tell them up front, I say, hey, listen, the best I could probably do on this is 85. Even if you took it and you listed it, you're probably not going to net anything but 82 to 85,000 anyway. The best I can do on it is 85, but that's like maxing it out. And my lenders, they're being way more conservative right now. People aren't really trying to go to the max. So we're going to give it a shot. Let's see what we can do. Mm-hmm. And I always tell my people, everything is always in the details of how you speak to these sellers. So mind you, let's see what we can do. Let's try it out. These are words and phrases that are basically implying, hey, listen, I'm not telling you that we are going to do it at 85, but I'm telling you I'm going to try my best, right? But I already anchored them with the 70, 75, so they know really that's where I'm really, really at, right? So then what we do is we go out, we send it to our buyers, and we do that just to secure the deals, because still to this day, there are people out there who are going to lock these deals up and not sell them, right? Because they're still locking them up way too high. So what we do is since we have these people on the hook, we get them on the contract, and then when we get our buyers to go through there and we get the numbers, we come back to the seller and we come for renegotiation. The difference between this renegotiation and a normal is that it's a warm renegotiation, because I already set the stage and let you know that we possibly might not be able to do it. So that's really how I've been able to turn a lot of the ones that we had pre-corona that kind of went into the corona situation. I was able to like turn them from no deals to get them back to deals. But then even when everything happened, we still lost. Like we had like 8 contracts and everything popped off. We lost 4, like just like that.
It's pipeline, and the other part about it is that you're not lying to the sellers. What you're doing is, like everybody's assessing the same situation, and over time, like really, we are the eyes and ears or the information gatherers for these sellers out here. We're acting in a wholesale capacity. Well, listen, this is what's going on. We're not sure whether we're going to be able to do this specifically. We're going to give it a shot. And if we can do it, great, we'll do it. But I've got to go back to my lenders. I've got to go back to my partners and see what they say. And then, like you said, it's a warm negotiation when you come back, because you do know your market, which is key. You do know your market. It's a warm negotiation when you come back and say, hey, I told them this is what they said,
And you can always feel good about it because you did communicate it on the front end. That's the important part.
How many of your deals are you saying you having to do that for?
So less now, like right now, not as many. About 4 weeks ago, probably about like 1 to 4 weeks ago, about 70% of them.
Yeah.
About 70% of them, like 1 to 4 weeks ago. And the thing is that what happened is that like now I'm going in already knowing, you know,
Right.
like, okay, we know we need to be at this number.
Right.
And the other thing that we're changing that we would do before we would lock deals up and just kind of see, like, it might be tight, but it might be somebody out there who might pay it. So we'll still get it, and we'll see what it does. Maybe list it on the MLS or something like that. I killed that. We're not doing that no more. I only want stuff where it's coming in and we know it's gonna go. Like, I don't want anything where it's questionable if we're gonna be able to close it or not. You know, and just because it's at this point it's so stressful to try to get stuff done sometimes that you don't even want to deal with it if you know that it's not going to be able to go through.
Which brings me to this, like deals from like, you know, I guess I want to say a daisy chain, or, you know, deals from, you know, I mean, you've seen those leads. Like,
Yeah.
how do you handle those leads that come into your atmosphere?
Actually, I don't. Not no more. I don't. Yo, for real, on JVs, I was telling my man Kevis this one time. We was chopping it up. Y'all know Kevis.
Yeah.
We was chopping it up one day. He had asked me. He was like, bro, I don't really see you have too many problems with the JVs. Like how you like avoid that? I only JV with people who I rock with.
Okay,
Like,
there you go.
you know, like, so
There you go.
it's this, y'all, him,
Right.
man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a very small circle of JV. Like, and other than that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to buy it from whoever it is. Because 9 times out of 10, I got about 2 or 3 emails with the same one. So I'm just going to try to find who really has it. And then just go to him. Because it's just, it's too much. And it's tough when you're sending a buyer to a property and then you got to call somebody, then they got to call somebody, and then they got to call somebody to let you know how to get in. Like, and then it's too much, man. And too many things have happened in the past. There's a lot of shady things that I hear, stories going on, and this is just from some of my principles, just from, you know, other lives. Like, I gotta know who I'm dealing with,
Right.
Because it's too much going on.
So in other words, relationship. You know, again, that word comes up again. I mean, relationship is important.
I'm big on that, man. I'm big on that. Like, I like to just, man, if I could just call y'all and be like, hey, you know, what you got? Or I got this. Okay, let's go. All right, great. You know, like, I love that. Like, rather than having to go through the whole process. And then another thing that I've been doing too nowadays is I've been building new relationships. Right. So this is one thing I've been wanting to say, is that prior to this happening, I got comfortable. Because it's like, I'm comfortable. Like, you know, deals is happening, they going on, you know, everything is cool, you know. And I realized that I kind of got away from, like Will was saying, like that hustler side of me. Like, I kind of got away from getting busy in all different aspects, as opposed to just getting busy where I was at in wholesale. It made me kind of comfortable. Like, you doing deals, you're not really looking at other stuff to do. And it's not that I'm looking to have another business, but it's that I'm looking to, it's not that I'm looking to make something else the main thing. It's that I've always had lots of multiple streams, you know? Right. And when this happened, it's like, you're only sitting on 2, 3 streams, like, and one of them might be a little shaky right now. Right. Like, I don't really like this, you know? So it brought me back to a space of just hustle, like the basics, right. The essence, you know, like the essence of who I am. Like, and that's what it was. That's the most beautiful thing for me that's happened. I could stack money because throughout this time, wife's birthday, anniversary, my son's birthday. So I ain't got to take them thousands of dollar trips. So I'm like, yes, you know, winning. So I'm like just saving that up. But I mean, other than that, man, I think that it just brought me back to the essence of who I really am. It just brought that hunger back, man. You know, when you gotta do something different and figure something new out, it's exciting.
I think, you know, I think pre-COVID, you know, I think we were like lions in a zoo.
And just, you know, you get on the phone, deal done, babe, let's go. Like, you know, just.
And post-COVID, we free. Like, we hunting now.
Now, listen, I watched y'all last week, and John was saying that he was on the phone. I'm on the phones. Yeah. Like, I'm on the phones now. Like, I found myself having my acquisitions rep doing everything, you know, and I'm just, matter of fact, might have been talking to Will. Oh, yeah, I'm going to wait on my acquisitions rep. Got to go get that from me real quick. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, I sat back one day and I'm like, what are you fancy right now? Like, you better tighten up. Like, what is wrong with you? You know, like, what's going on? So I'm like back in the trenches. Like, I was on the phone earlier today. I'm talking to this one guy. We went to go see the property today, and that's when I left with the contract. He wanted to talk to his wife, but my tone with him was just different. Then I got on the phone to this lady, Miss Betty. I'm like, hey, how's it going, Miss Betty? Then she talked back, and she was just real soft and quiet. The mirror was crazy. Just mirrored the voice real quick. Oh yeah, hey, how's it going, Miss Betty? I was like, well, I'm in the game. Like, I still got it. Like, let's go.
hey, quick, talk about that real quick. You know, like when you get on the phone, you know, like what you have to do when you get on the phone, when you hear a person's voice, when you hear them talking, what do you have to do?
Man, the most important thing. So the first thing I listen to is when I greet them first, because I don't take the hello. The hello can sound like whatever. When I greet them first and they talk back to me, that's my first test. It's like, okay, are they in a good mood? Are they in a bad mood? Right. Are they kind of relaxed? Are they hyper? Are they busy? Do it sound like they're busy, or does it sound like nothing's going on? Right? So I try to match that tone. So like with my man when I was talking to him, he's kind of old school cat, you know, just aggressive with his speech. So I met him right there.
Right.
I initially get on the phone with an exciting kind of tone, like, hey, how's it going? Boom, boom. And then when Miss Betty came on, she said, oh, hey, how's it going? Okay, she's like that. Let me switch it. You know, and then you get on the phone with another young lady where she's a little bit more aggressive, but a young lady. Yeah. So I don't try to meet her aggression, but I meet her with the firmness. So when I have an aggressive woman on the phone, I'm just more firm as opposed to aggressive. You see what I'm saying? That when I have an aggressive man, I meet his with the aggression.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of how I kind of mirror the sellers. But to me, that part, and the second thing that I tell my people, you have to be able to listen. One thing that kills me when my people are on the phone is when they ask the seller something that they already told them.
Yeah.
I hate it.
They hate it too. The sellers hate it too.
Yeah, I know. Because it's like you sound like you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
No, so it's like you have to listen. Like those are the two main things I do. So I ask them, hey,
what you tell them? They got to call back. They got to call back and get more information.
Can I call back and get more information? I'm like, okay. So, you know, when I call them, I tell them first thing. So I have them set the stage like, hey, listen, I got all this information. I'm going to send this over to my director and he's going to give you a call. And when he calls you, he's just going to confirm the information. We're not going to go back through it all over again. We're going to confirm a couple things, and then we're going to get right into the numbers. Right. So now when we get on the phone, whether it's myself and my acquisitions rep, they're ready to get into the numbers, and we can just kind of laugh and joke in the first 5 or 10 minutes because it's relaxed. They talking to what they deem as the boss at this point. It's kind of keeping those layers of separation. So, yeah.
You know, and I'm glad you brought that up because it's like, and you know, and I guess it's like almost like a TO or a turnover. You're turning it over and you're actually, and this guys, he is dropping some jewels tonight. So guys, I mean, please listen to what he's saying. But when you're doing that,
major.
What's that?
I said major.
Yeah, major. I mean, it's like because when you're doing that, you're actually edifying that next person. You know, like your person, the person that's supposed to be the CEO or the big person on the totem pole, you are going to edify that person, not because of who they are, but because of who your seller needs. You need for your seller to perceive them to be. Because when you do that, then you're going to give them the ultimate authority to make a decision. Am I right?
Facts. And when I started doing that, it changed. Like my conversion rate changed.
Right.
Like tremendously, because now when they're on the phone with the cold caller, then they talk to the acquisitions rep. Yeah. The acquisitions rep gives them a number. If it's kind of like close by, well, let me check on my director. Right. They check with me. I still don't talk to him yet. Then he goes back to him. And then let's just say it doesn't work. All right, well, let me see if he can make something happen for you. Right. And then when I get on the phone, the tone has it's butter at that point. So really, and sometimes what I do is I use my brother, I'll use a cold caller, I'll use my wife, I'll use my, you see what I'm saying? Like anybody to just kind of create that distance. Absolutely. So if you don't have workers working for you, let's say that you're cold calling, you can use your middle name when you cold calling. Okay, great. I'm gonna go ahead and send this over to my director, Ashley, right? Ashley's gonna take a look at it. Even if you can't give them a different voice on the phone, make it seem like, hey, it's not really up to me. Like it's not my fault that we can't do this number. Like
Right.
this is what they're telling me. This is the max I can do. You know, and that most times kind of sets a stage, at least to where you can follow up if you don't get the contract and try to come back and get that number.
I heard you say, and I heard you say this, you don't immediately talk to them. Like there is a specific certain time of when you come on or the perceived person comes on, that's like the top of the chain. That's when they come on, is to make a decision. And that's, guys, Kendall is dropping jewels tonight. so understand.
Hey, I got he dropped some real jewels. I got a 2-part question, and guys, this is so good. I know we normally end at 9, but we got to go over a little bit. You know, it's just out of respect. So we just want to make sure you guys, because we getting into it. We getting into the nitty gritty of this right now. So, I know you did a video. I don't know if it was on your course or it was a video you did, but you broke down how quickly you make an offer, because some people have an issue with how they make their offers, how they come up with the numbers, or, you know, they just don't, they calculate 70% ARV. You know, everybody have their own different formulas. That's the first question, is how do you break down your offer? And I think you said in like a couple of minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. And then the second part question is offers, you know what I'm saying? How are you presenting your offers? Is all your offers verbal? Are you sending them in writing? You know what I'm saying? Explain that as well. So that's kind of a 2-part question.
Okay, so first part to that, as far as our offers now and the way that we're doing them. So I basically work backwards with the buyers nowadays. This is a part of the change that we made. So now that I know kind of what my guys and my people are paying, like when I dive deep down to trying to estimate and gauge based on prior deals, how they price rehab. Like all the way down to what's your net ROI, what's your gross ROI, because I really need to know like what's the best it is that you can do on a deal. So what I do is that when you have deals where it's a fix and flip or a rental, the first thing I like to do is hit the as-is comparables, because the as-is cash sales is going to tell you what our investors are paying. And it actually just make it easier to train my people on how to look for as-is and how to do a whole formula on ARV, times this, minus that. And the reason I stopped doing that, first off, the ARV formula times 70% was killing my profits, because people don't always do that. Like some people have better contract crews where they get things cheaper. Some people are willing to go 77% because they don't have to pay for money. They use their own cash. So everybody's different. So I stopped doing that because we was leaving money on the table. So how we get the offer, so basically we do the formula first, and we look at the as-is comps. And nowadays we are literally going 60 to 70% of the as-is sales, like below that. Like we starting there. You know what I'm
so
saying?
you'll take the lowest comp and do 60 to 70% of the lowest comp? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, so what we'll do is we'll take the middle three. So like let's say you got a 50,000, 55, a 70, 75, and an 85. We'll take that 60 to 70 and let that be the median like of that. Because if we go to the lowest number, we ain't gonna get no deals. They gonna hang up. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I know people tell people like, yo, you gotta go in low and anchor them, and it ain't really an offer unless you disrespecting them. That might work in a less competitive market, but here that's not gonna fly. So you have to be somewhere where it's like, it's not disrespectful, but it's still like, come on, man, that's a little too low. You know, so
it's almost like you're getting the average. So it's almost like you're getting the average of the 3 best comps, and you're taking like 60 to 70% of that.
Basically, you know what I'm saying? So like I kind of take the average of the middle of them, and then times 70%, and we just start there. But what I do is that we don't start there presenting it as an offer. We start there basically saying, hey, I'm seeing properties selling for whatever that number is. You probably wouldn't take that, would you? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's kind of how we gauging it to see, like, you know, because they might
take that, would you?
Yeah, like, you know, and I don't want to disrespect you. I mean, I see him going for this number, but that's probably not what you're looking for, is it? You know, you just kind of leave it be.
Let me dip my toe in the water.
Yeah, like just let me see, like, you know, because even if we can't get it at 70%, even if we can get it at 85% of the as-is sales, the reason why I'm doing it at 70% is because we got to put a curve on it, because everybody's buying differently now. So that's why we're at 70% of the as is value and keeping that much cushion there. But no, that's what we do first. So and I try to keep that same formula, mainly when I'm dealing with rentals and sometimes when I'm dealing with flips. When I'm dealing with something that's a genuine flip, like right now, we going in the morning, God willing, to lock this contract up for 150 and in a hot area. Like, I'm excited. But with that one right there, I talked to her, right? And I said, hey, and this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I talked to her and I said, we got on the phone and I said, hey, I have here in my notes from my caller, Mike. He said that you were looking for what, 225 to 250? I mean, that's not right, is it? Oh yeah, no, that's not really what I was looking for. Okay. So yeah, so like, what were you trying to do as far as the price is concerned? Because, I'm not close to that. And I was prepared to contract her for 200. Right. So, but I didn't say it at first. I wanted her to talk first, right? Because she sounded like she knew what she wanted. So I asked her, I said, tell me what you want. And she blurted out 150. So I immediately had to change my mindset and say, okay, I was looking at the numbers and I was thinking we need to be 140 to 160 anyway, and I just kind of switched the game on it because had I I could have got it for 200, but I mean, it's room to do it for 200, but when the seller comes out at 150, that's why you always want to kind of anchor them a little bit. Because had I ran my mouth too much, I left 50K on the table, so you have to learn how to just chill out and be quiet. So when I present the offers to them, what we normally do is we go verbal first and just kind of give them a range. I don't stick to a specific number first because what I want to do is I want to see, are we even in a ballpark before we even start getting into negotiating and everything like that? Because if they want like 50, 60,000 more than what we talking about and they're firm on that, there's no need to get into it. So when we're doing text campaigns, I actually have my people sending the offers through text for those people who don't seem realistic, right? So like if you're going through, so like you send the text out, they text back, yeah, I want to sell. You ask them about the condition, they let you know about the condition and it's in great condition. So it's probably retail what they probably want for it. We still make offers on those. But if it's a retail price, we still come down to 60 cents on the dollar, right? And we'll give them that 60 to 70 cent range on a retail person. And we'll let them know, hey, we're kind of going to fall between this range on our offer. We're probably too far off. Like we're telling them up front. So a lot of the things that I've been doing now is I'm telling sellers up front, like, listen, I'm probably too far off for what you want. Like everything that's going on right now, I'm not going to be able to pay that. I just know I'm not. And then they ask, well, how much are you going to offer? Well, I'm probably going to be in the low hundreds. Even then, I'm not giving them a number. I'm going to be in the low hundreds. If they ask for 200, I'm going to be in the low hundreds somewhere. Low hundreds, yeah. If that's not going to work for you, you might be better off listing it. And then if we get somebody who's interested in talking more, because remember, this is not with me yet. They're still talking to the texter. Right. So if they want to discuss more, then they shoot that over to the acquisitions rep. And now the acquisitions rep has a lead where it's like, we're going to be in the low hundreds, right, even though you're asking 200. And when we speak to them, then he can come on the phone and say, okay, it's looking like the low hundreds, but we probably are really like right at 100, right at 100, 105, right? So we're kind of like setting expectation as we go down the pipeline, as it comes through, right? And by the time I get it, if I ever get it, at that point, it's like, I'm ready to lock the deal down. Like, let's lock the deal down. So we go on verbal first, and then we get the verbal commitment. So once we get the verbal commitment from them, then we say, okay, we're going to send you over a contract right now. It's a one-page document, very easy to understand. If you have any questions, just give me a call back. If not, you can go ahead and sign. Is there any other people who need to make a decision about this deal before we move forward? And then they'll say, okay, well, I got to talk to my wife, like the guy earlier. Yeah. He said, I have to talk to my wife. I said, yeah, that's a good idea. Right. So he started laughing. He's like, yeah, you know how that goes. I'm like, yeah, most definitely. If I sold my house and my wife, I came home with a signed contract, she might have wanted to sell. Your wife is probably okay with it. She just wants you to tell her first. Yeah, man, that's exactly what it is. I have no problem with it. And patience is the key right now. Because if you're too thirsty, you're going to lose deals.
Oh, say that again.
You got to be patient. Like, if you're too thirsty, you're going to lose the deal. I'm telling you, like, patience is a key. And a lot of these deals that we're getting now, people have been prior under contract. So what we're doing is we're just finding out when are they supposed to close. That's all. We don't trip. Like, hey, go ahead and take that offer. Because taking that offer, I already know if it's more than what I'm offering, and because they tell me like, well, they're offering 100,000 or 20,000 more than you, 30,000 more than you. I already know it's not going to sell. I don't know who's buying it at that number, but nobody I know is going to buy that deal, right? So at this point, I already know it's not going to sell. Let me get the date where it's not going to close, and let me put you on a follow-up. I'm going to hit them the day before. How's it looking? Did everything go good? Oh, we're supposed to close tomorrow. Oh, no. Oh, we're not going to close anymore. I'm picking up a lot of contracts just on the back end. Like, man, it never happened. Okay, great. Well, we can make it happen at this number.
So you got
yeah.
So you see a lot of lazy negotiations out there in them streets.
Yeah, man, lazy negotiations. Like, I'm no longer like, and I'm telling you, man, like, I'm not, with everything going on, I'm taking advantage of the fact that I know people are not going to be able to close how they think they are at those high numbers. Yeah. So I'm really sitting back like, hey, do your thing. I just had a seller call me yesterday. We was talking to him in January. Like, he's just like, hey, y'all still want to buy it? I'm like, yeah, we do. Like, but it's not going to be at that number, you know? So but then perfect example. Then he hits me with I want to talk to this other wholesaler. He's offering like 20,000 more than you. So I'm like, okay, you can do that. Let's talk back on Wednesday. He's like, okay, that sounds good. But I told him up front, I said, hey, on Wednesday, I don't know if this number going to be the same because I'm pushing it for you. Like, right. And I always make them seem like I'm going above and beyond to get them extras. When they try to get those extras out of me, man, like
you're working for them.
Yeah, like, man, I really got to push it to make this happen for you. But if I can't
get approved, I can't even guarantee this, but this got to get approved,
You got to get approved. Yeah. And what I do is, if I can do that for you, will you sign it right now? And then if they say yes, then we send them over to DocuSign. Like the lady tomorrow, I'm going to meet her in person. We're going to glove up, mask up, and we just going to go meet her. And at the Walmart, like, I don't care what we got to do. Who we got to pull up on. If she lived in Savannah, I told her I'd be there in the morning, and I'm on the GPS, like, how we look. Because right now is a time where it's like the deals where it just takes more to get done. I mean, man, who else is going to do that? I mean, we would, but the majority of people is not going to do that,
Wow.
So just to recap on your offers, like, you're not coming out blurting out any number. You're always starting out with with a range, You're always starting out with a range and filling them out to see, are they even comfortable within the range you said? And then from there, do you still, if they are comfortable within that range, are you going to throw the first number out, or are you going to kind of make them push the number out? Or how are you going from the range to the first number being thrown out?
Yeah, so if they're comfortable with the range, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the low end of my max offer, and I'll throw the number out. I don't mind. Like, I really don't mind throwing the number out, because I see a lot of people teaching in a lot of sales negotiation books, hey, the first person who throws a number out is the one that lost. Not really, not if it's the number I was trying to get.
Don't really matter. Yeah, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that.
Like, and then now, I mean, really think about it.
How you gonna get stuff done?
Come on now.
Sometimes you got to set the tone and throw that number out there to get it going. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you start with what you're comfortable with, so be it.
Exactly.
Delano had a question. He said, how are y'all telling sellers that you need to extend the contract? That's a really good question. I guess that's a renegotiation question. I guess it's one of the renegotiation questions.
Yeah, so, I mean, as far as extending the contract, what I normally do is, in my contract, it already kind of has a semi-auto extension in it, if need be. But when I lock up the deals, I kind of already know how long it's going to take me to move, because I got an idea who I'm going to sell it to. So if I need to extend, I never go back to extend without an ending on the extension. Meaning, if I go back, it's because I already know the closing date. So let's just say that we're supposed to close Thursday, but it's Monday. But I just got a buyer locked up. I mean, I took it all the way to the gate. Like, I had this one deal. Matter of fact, y'all might have seen it on Crystal River Drive in Riverdale. Boy, that thing took me like 2-3 weeks to sell. Like, and I took it to the gate. But once I got it, like in that last week, so I just hit hey, listen, I know we're supposed to close Thursday. We're going to need to push it to Monday. We got to get everything together. That's cool. No problem. But I'm never going to ask for an extension if I don't have the property sold already. A seller will never be, not never. Yeah. Most of the time, a seller should not be mad about an extension if they know that it's going to get done.
Yeah.
Never go back with an extension trying to market.
It's kind of hard to extend without that buyer that you comfortable with, because like when you're extending, you kind of already tell them the new closing date. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of hey, some of my funding partners, you know what I'm saying? We had to change the date or this, that, or whatever. But you're more confident. To me personally, it's either one or two things. Either I know the property's sold and I got a buyer lined up, or I know it's a deal I'm gonna eventually find a buyer. I just need a couple more days. Yep. But most of the time, I'm not gonna extend if it's not for that, because what you don't want to do is extend it, then you don't get it done, and then you're just not looking ethical. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. I don't like riding out contracts like that. Yeah, like I don't like riding out contracts like that. I don't like taking them like to the whole 30 days. Like really, if I'm gonna do any renegotiation or extending, I'm trying to do it in that first 7, like that due diligence, that first 7 to 10 days of that inspection period. Because the reason I held to the Riverdale,
unless you're doing it within your inspection period.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and the reason I did it on the Riverdale deal and a couple other deals is because it's not that I wasn't getting action. That deal happened right when everything hit. So you're talking about having deals where buyers are falling out because of the virus, but the numbers was there and I had room to renegotiate the deal. So, when you have that's the other thing. Even when I go back and renegotiate, I never go back and renegotiate unless I have an end buyer. Because like Will said, once you go back and renegotiate, you're coming across as though we're good to go. Right. So you don't want to try to renegotiate a deal.
It's a bad deal. I just need a little more time.
Yeah. And then what happens when you renegotiate and then you get a buyer that's lower and you need to renegotiate again? That's not a good look.
That's
and
real.
It probably won't happen.
I got another question. Once I've assigned my deal to a buyer, what is the next proper step to take? I've heard escrow, title, attorney. What do all suggest for a smooth closing, especially during COVID-19?
You want me to take it?
Go ahead.
Okay. So first thing I suggest is with your buyer, make sure that you are giving all information necessary that your buyer needs. So if this is your first deal, which I'm assuming it is, you have to understand all the moving parts to a transaction.
Right.
Meaning ask your attorney, like what needs to happen. So they're going to need wiring instructions for earnest money, which means you need to speak to your closing attorney and get them that. If you have not opened escrow, you want to do that immediately, especially when you already have both contracts. Mm-hmm. Some people don't. Some people wait to open it up, which I'm cool with, like, because you might be nervous. You don't want to waste attorney's time and money. That's cool.
Right.
But once you have that and you put those things together, a couple things that you want to have on your checklist. You want to make sure that the attorney has the buyer's LLC and operating agreement, all the docs that they need to be an official company. The attorneys are always going to ask for that. You want to make sure that you have the wiring instructions from the attorney. And if they're secure wiring instructions, make sure that the attorney has the buyer's information to send it over to them, which brings me to my next point. When you send that assignment contract over to the attorney, make sure you will send it to them with the contract, buyer's name, buyer's email, buyer's phone number. Let the attorney do their work. Let the attorneys do what they're supposed to do for you. Meaning, let them reach out to them, because you don't want them having to reach out to you and then you got to reach out to them. Let them do their job. Right. Let them reach out to the buyer. What you want to do is verify that everything is getting done. That's your main focus as the wholesaler, is to keep everybody together and keep everybody on the same page of how everything is going on. Next thing you want to do is, once you have that over and they sent over you sent over the wiring instructions, you want to make sure they sent over their earnest money. It's your first deal. You're new to the game. Just stick to the rules. Make sure that they go ahead and submit their earnest money. Once they've done that, you want to keep a clear line of communication with the attorney. Make sure there's nothing going on with the title. And then you want to communicate with your seller and your buyer and find out, are they going to be doing mail-away closings, or are they going to be coming into closing?
That's
very important. That's important when the attorneys are putting together the HUDs, because if we don't know that they're doing the mail-away and closing day comes, that can extend that 2 or 3 days, because now they have to send docs out and now you got to wait for your money, right? So all this is just communication. You want to get this information up front. And then once you've done that, you want to schedule a time that works for both parties. So in COVID-19 life, you might have people doing more virtual buying. As far as buyers are concerned, you want to find out, hey, are they coming in or are they not? If they are, get everybody on the same schedule with the attorney and schedule it. At that point, you just have to make sure everybody shows up. You want to make sure that funds get wired. Like if the closing is at 12 noon, I prefer funds to be wired like 9 and 10 a.m. the night before if I can. You know, the night before if they'll do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's really it. You know, just make sure those things are done. And if all those things are done at closing, it should be smooth. Like everybody should just come and everything should be done. And last thing, make sure that your attorney send over a preliminary HUD statement over to yourself and over to the buyer and over to the seller. Sometimes they do the seller, sometimes they don't, but definitely over to yourself and over to the buyer so that you can make sure your numbers are right. Make sure that your assignment fee is correct. Make sure everything looks good on the HUD statement if you know how to read one, because that's what's going to determine what you get paid. And once it's done, ain't no going back.
Good, man. That's good.
It's kind of hard to end it, man. I know we at that point, man. We gotta come to an end, man. This is so good. We probably could have went on in a whole nother hour, man.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, we can go for a whole nother hour.
I know, man. But we gotta come to a close. Tim, is anything else you want to say before?
Oh man, I was just gonna say the chat box is crazy, man. Like everybody's like, yo, that's great information. So we certainly appreciate it, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I appreciate y'all, man. You know, anytime, anything y'all need, man. Whenever, you already know, I'm one call away, brother. And I just appreciate y'all, man, doing this, man. Like this, like I was telling y'all last week, like for me, I need to get around like people and just be in the midst of certain energy and just to fill my cup back up. You know, we go so hard and we always working hard as business owners and operators and just hustlers and grinders and whatever you want to call it, entrepreneurs, whatever, that it's draining. So you need to get around the energy of your fellow entrepreneurs, people who understand, your business owners, people who get what it is you're going through. And you just need to feel that energy and fill your cup back up, man. Like, man, I mean, back in the day, man, when I'm younger and you get around somebody who gets it, I mean, like they get into it and they going hard. It's like it's contagious and you feel it, you know, and you need to feel that sometimes. So when I get up, man, last week, y'all filled me up last week, bro. Like, I'm telling you, like, I was like, man, we going hard. I'm on 4 contracts this week. Like, let's go. Like, you know, so yeah, man, I appreciate everything y'all doing. And y'all just so consistent, man. Y'all, y'all consistent.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it, man. That joint with Trevorrow, Frank, and John Stafford. I mean, you know, John Stafford, it was his, but then, you know, the fellas just started jumping on, you know, Trevorrow from the week before, and Frank, you know, he jumped on and just started dropping jewels. By the way, guys, that's on YouTube. So check it out. That's on YouTube. So, definitely, man. We were blessed.
Yeah, man, solid.
What you got?
Man, we appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you blessing our community tonight, man, with some great nuggets. Real quick before we let you go, man, how can people get in touch with you? I know some people want to get in touch with you, whether it's through social media or whatever. Tell people how to find you.
Yeah, man, you can find me on Instagram at Kendall Ficklin and the number 2. People be getting me and my pops mixed up because they be following him and be like, "Damn, I thought I was following you." Like, nah, it's my dad. And they be following me and be like, "Oh, I thought that was you." Like, nah, that's him. So I'm Kendall Ficklin, the number 2. And then on Facebook, Kendall Ficklin II. You see me tagged on there. You can hit me up on there. You can if you got questions about like real estate, if you got deals, you can text me if you got deals. Or you can call me. 404-709-9147. If I don't pick up, text me so I know who you are. You know, I just need to, sometimes you gotta filter them phone calls and see who it is. But other than that, man, you can reach out to me anytime. If you got questions about anything, comment under the video, I'll answer the questions. And man, I just want to salute these guys and their platform. And y'all just keep going hard, man. Keep don't quit. Like Will was saying, man, just whatever you do, don't quit. Just stay in the game long enough to win it. That's all you gotta do. Stay in the game long enough to win it. That's all.
Appreciate that.
That's it. Brother Wilson said, "Great call tonight, fellas." Man, appreciate you, Brother Wilson, jumping on tonight, man. Everybody who's
Wilson, what's up, sir?
Yeah, Jabral said great call. Jabral said great call tonight. OT said he needs barbers. So.
OT, I just cut my brother in the garage just a few hours ago. I'm retired now, man. I'll see if I got some Southside people for you.
And John said, "What's up, fellas? Deanna said, "What's up, Law Clerk on Demand?" Says, "What's up?" as always. So we certainly appreciate her.
I think I see your wife on Facebook over here. She said, "We was like, should we stop it?" She said, "Keep it going, keep it going." So shout out to wifey, man. Shout out to wifey. Say keep it going.
Yeah, but
hey man, thank you so much, man. Tim, you want to go ahead and close us out tonight?
No, you go ahead, my brother.
Man, we grateful. We thankful that Kendall was able to jump on to bless y'all tonight, man. We so grateful. Make sure you guys tune in every Monday, 8 p.m. same time. Facebook Live, Zoom. You know, you never know who we're gonna bring on. We always gonna bring that heat. I see all the emojis, the fire emojis, man. There's so many fire emojis on there, man. You almost lit up the computer tonight, man. So we definitely appreciate all the fire emojis. You know, you don't know who's gonna be on here next week, or if it's just gonna be me and Tim. So you make sure you're tuning in via Zoom, via Facebook Live. If you guys, want to partner with us, or you want to be a part of this Wholesalers Are Us community, feel free to email us at REI wholesalersrus@gmail.com. That's REI wholesalersrus@gmail.com. We looking to partner. We looking to buy some more deals. Tim is buying right now. I'm currently buying right now. Kendall, he's buying right now. So we're all looking for deals right now. So make sure you keep us in mind. That's REI wholesalersrus@gmail.com. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at Uncle Bill Buy Houses. Facebook, William Galloway. Tim, who is Tim Harvey on Instagram, and Tim Harvey on Facebook. But guys, thank you so much. We're so grateful for this call tonight. We're grateful that we could be blessed to be blessings. You guys stay safe out here in this COVID. Be safe with your families. Keep your health up. Keep that mindset. Let's crush it this week. If you don't crush it this week after this call, I don't know what to tell you. Like, real talk. Like, you should wake up tomorrow, 4, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, and just bang it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. You should just go head first and be willing to take that journey like we talked about earlier, and be ready for the pain. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be some pain. So that's it. Tim, anything else I left off before we?
Oh yeah, what's up, Ramon? What's up, man?
Yeah, that's Ramon.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Ramon, big brother, what's up, man?
Salute to the mayor, man. Salute to the mayor.
Great call, man. He said it was awesome tonight. So big ups.
Appreciate that, Ramon. It means a lot coming from you, brother.
Yes, sir.
So we out, man. We're going to see you guys next week, same time, 8 p.m. Don't forget us. Keep us in mind. Keep us in your prayers. We're going to keep you in ours. We love y'all. Y'all be safe. Good night.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Down.